So welcome, Al.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. We've been trying to do this, I reckon, I reckon 18 months nearly.
Yeah, yeah,
It's been a long time. So you did start up Gippsland. What year was that? Was it 2020 or 2021?
2021,
21,
last
yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was one of the mentors, and I thought, wow, what an amazing you just won the Night Babe. That's what you were doing in startup Gippsland. But even so, before that, you've had your makeup business, and you're just you're kicking goals. It kind of just, particularly Night Babe, just went. She just kind of skyrocketed. We'll unpack that in a minute, but you impressed me no end back then, and I kept saying I've got to get her on the podcast. So glad to have you here. Really impressed with your work.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Glad to have a professional chat instead of baby chat. So it'll be good.
Yes, a baby chat. That's another thing too, because in this time that we got a bit slack and I didn't get Elle on for you guys to listen to, she just messaged me, says, sorry, I've been out of whack a little bit. I just had a baby and I've been sick. And I'm like, well, I've never had anyone just say to me, sorry, I've just had a
Sorry for
baby.
the
Like,
inconvenience.
I mean, it's kind of like, didn't even know, and why should I know? But it's kind of like this baby just appeared from nowhere. Another I guess post COVID baby now, isn't it? But
Yep.
how many's that you got there in that
Two.
little two,
Two
two
little
in the little
girls. Yep.
posse?
Yep.
Uh,
Yes. To and
how,
through.
so how old is she now? How old's the baby now?
She's 12 weeks.
Wow, still a newbie.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right, so guys, if we hear a little bit screaming in the background, it's you know, we know
Yeah.
what it is.
Paris.
It's nobody gets nobody get. Would you say a parrot?
No. Paris, her name.
Oh, Paris. I thought you said
Yeah.
it's a parrot. I was
She
going to say.
walks like a parrot. Yeah.
Well, I bet she's absolutely beautiful.
She
Absolutely beautiful. Oh, that's gorgeous. Now, so as I mentioned, you're doing Night Babe pillowcases, and I think you've expanded a little bit more, and you've also got you were a makeup artist. So let's go back to the makeup artist first. So,
Yep.
and you're only young. How old are you? Rude
34.
question. Oh, 34. Well, let's see,
Yep.
you're well, I took you for late 20s, so there you go.
Oh, thanks.
I hope
Thanks.
you hold
Like
your
that.
age until my age. So, all right, so not so young, but young
No.
enough. So, what took you down the makeup path? Like, how'd that happen?
Well, I grew up on a farm, was like the horse girl in
Yeah.
school. And then in like year 8, I started on school holidays going to my auntie's house in Melbourne, and her son had this like really glamorous girlfriend that had like all the labels and lived in South Yarra, and I just thought she was the coolest person on earth. And so yeah, I kind of was just like, oh, said later to the horses, and like just became obsessed with like fashion and beauty. And then when I finished, or when I got my license, I found Napoleon Purtis back in 2005. God, was like the brand of makeup to have. And he had a makeup school in South Yarra. So yeah, when I got my license in 2006, I started going down there every weekend doing this certificate course and loved it. And then when I finished year 12, I moved there and did the year-long diploma. But then I like broke up with my boyfriend, ended up coming back to Sale, and I worked doing bridal. So since like 2007, I've been doing bridal. And then in probably like 2015, I sort of reevaluated what I was doing. I was working retail and doing bridal every weekend. And I was like, no, I got into this because I wanted to work in fashion and beauty. So in my lunch break, literally that day after I had this thought, my favorite fashion artist came up on my news feed that she was like doing an editorial masterclass in Melbourne for a week. So I like booked it that lunch break. Told my boss, I was like, I need this time off. Did the course. She loved my work. I started assisting her. Then I quit my job in retail and was like, this is just going to take off and hope for the best. And yeah, so it's been, yeah. And then I have been living the commercial life of makeup and trying to get into TV. Yeah, since then. And then COVID
Wow.
hit.
And then COVID hit.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And then COVID hit. So did you, when you, COVID's a whole other story, and that sort of
Yeah.
slowed everybody down. That just took, that just pulled the rug out from under so many
Yeah.
businesses. But when like, that's it, I'm just going and I'm just doing it and I'm just jumping in and
Yeah.
taking a chance. Did you have fears? Like, were you like, oh, far out, what if this doesn't work? Or
No, I'm a very like spontaneous, not a planner. I'm not a planner. I just jump in and hope for the best in all situations. So yeah, no. I just assumed it has to work. I have to make it work.
So if you do that, because there's two types of people. Well, there's probably more than that, but like two main types when we're talking about this is one that I'm hanging on to safety, no matter what it takes. Well, actually, three types. One that's going, I'm not doing my thing because I'm staying here where I'm secure. There's another type that has 1 foot in and 1 foot out, keeping 1 foot in safety and 1 foot.
I think,
and there's the other type that, yes, you.
Yeah. Like I did hold on to that retail job that I had, like that, as my 9 to 5 for a long time because I was scared. I was a bit scared to like be like, oh God, I've got a mortgage. I need regular income. But then on the other hand, I was like, if I don't stop that and keep that as a safety net, like I'll never get there to where I envisioned myself being.
Yeah.
So
when you did leave the safety of the retail, was that scary? Like, I mean, I know you said you were scared, but like, did you just know inside? I
did. Yeah, I could just like, I was just like, not to sound like arrogant or anything like that, but like when Ray, like the makeup artist whose course I did, like just the feedback that I got from her, and she gave me so much confidence that like, yeah, it will be tough because like those first few years, like you're doing a lot of assisting unpaid work and that kind of thing anyway. But I could see like the comments and the feedback I was getting and the type of bookings that were coming through, like while I was still at the retail. And I was like, no, like I need the availability of dates and to not mess my employer around. Like I'm still great friends with them and love them. And I didn't want to mess them around by being like, oh, because like makeup freelance life, you get booked like the night before. And I'd be like, I need to go to Melbourne tomorrow. Sorry. Like I just didn't want to mess them around. So I was like, no, I need to like make the decision and just go for it 100%.
I really love what you're saying there. I love both, that you just took the chance and believe in yourself, but that whole bit about being ethical, and honest. And yes, there's a lot of people who want to create a side hustle and get it going, and there's always that kind of, when do I take that leap? And there's often the safety net, as we're talking of this job, but there's nothing wrong with actually saying to that person, I think if they're a good employer, they're kind of like, look, we want you to flourish, and we'll support you. But it sort of takes both sides to really have an open conversation and understand when it's time to move. So I love that. Did you like, when you took that jump, did you have to then start really advertising or start doing a lot more Instagram promotion and work a lot harder to really get customers in?
Well, I sort of how would I say, like I assisted, like I would email, I'd put together, firstly I paid the top photographers and the top models. Like I used my own savings to build the portfolio of like the type of makeup that I wanted to create, which is not like what was popular on Instagram at the time, which was like the really like heavy theatrical drag queen really look aesthetic. I'm much more like of a glowy natural, I guess a lot of people use as my makeup aesthetic. So I created the portfolio of the type of makeup that I wanted to be doing that makes me happy and everything. And then I would just spend hours just researching PR companies that dealt with the types of brands that I wanted to work with. And would just email them my portfolio, and I would DM on Instagram the makeup artists whose careers I wanted to like emulate, and say, like I'm going to be in Melbourne these dates. I would love if you need anyone to assist you like on shoots or anything like that. And I would go and just assist them, like you don't get paid for that, but maybe like $100 or something like that. But yeah, that's where I learned most of my skills, is from assisting other artists and just working out how the etiquette on set and what I need in my kit and what's expected of you on set. And then from there, I built relationships with those artists. And then when like they were booked for jobs and they needed to recommend someone, like I'd be like, yeah, they'd pass on the clients to me and that type of thing. So that's how I've built relationships in the industry.
Mm.
And then, yeah, so now I have my ongoing clients that I just get rebooked with. And there's like some creative agencies. I'm not signed with an agent, but I'm on the books with quite a few different agencies. So when their artists are booked, they pass on jobs to me. And yeah.
That's fantastic. And I love that way you're talking about collaboration and relationships,
Yeah.
because there's, I think I don't think it works, where we have this competition with other people, we're trying to be better,
Yeah.
and then we try to do this fake, like I've come out of nowhere, and I'm an
Yeah,
over.
I did it all by myself.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think we've got to stop doing that. I think
Yeah.
everybody starts somewhere, and actually, if you're not embarrassed by your first lot of work, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, oh my God. When I look back at those, like from when I used to drive down to Melbourne, my God, the final piece that I created for my very first like certificate course. I remember at the time thinking, oh, I'm amazing. Like I'm really good. It's so bad.
But I
So
think that's the same with anything, isn't it?
yeah.
And it's no shame in that. Like I think this is what we've got to promote, and we've got to be honest about. We've got to have humility, and we've got to share this sort of story with other people to say that
Yeah.
you're better off to start scrappy. I mean, I don't mean awful, that you're
Yeah.
destroying people's faces while you're destroying people's lives.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, nobody's perfect, and we're never perfect. Actually, it's a journey. We're
Yeah.
always improving, and we should always be looking for what can I tweak here and what can I tweak there,
Yeah.
And I think we've got to share the story of you start messy. Nobody's
Yeah, you
perfect.
start messy and then you like develop your style, and just like a message to other aspiring makeup artists, like to be, because I spent a lot of years, like in the early years, trying to like create looks that were like what was popular on, well,
Yeah,
Instagram wasn't even a thing back then.
yeah,
So like just in the media type, try to create looks of what was popular and what other people sort of wanted. Whereas I never really asked myself, like, what do I think is beautiful, or what do I think
yeah,
is like the ultimate aesthetic of a woman's face.
yeah.
So yeah, just being true to like what your style is. And if you create like and put out to the world like, what you think is beautiful, then you'll get the type of clients that you love working with, not just people that don't feed your soul, really. Yeah.
I agree, and that's sort of avoiding that scarcity mindset, and it's
Yeah,
there's
there's enough
room
clients
enough.
for everyone.
Exactly, there's room enough for everybody, and I
Yeah.
think I love what you're saying about, that for makeup artists, you're all different, and you
Yeah.
can look at this one and go, no, that's not for me. That one is for me. That
Yeah.
actually resonates for me, and I believe, and this is the same with my work, is you're better off working with clients that resonate, that everybody
Yeah.
resonates, because
Yep.
everyone's happy. It's win-win, and it's
Yeah.
beautiful energy exchange, and
Yep.
it's
Definitely.
lovely. You're saying about TV? Have you worked with anyone famous? People
Um,
know this.
I have. I do a bit for sometimes Channel 10, and like when I've assisted, like I've worked at the Logies and
Wow,
some bit like the Arias and that type of thing. So yeah, there's lots of like big names come through. So that's
wow,
always fun, fashion weeks and that type of thing.
yeah,
Yeah. So I've
wow.
worked at
That's
really fun events. Yes,
yeah.
definitely.
What
I
about
think catching up, like my favorite just bizarre moment. Like sometimes I just catch myself and I'm like, what, how am I here? Like I caught up with Ray when we were at the Logies. I wasn't working for her, I was working for someone else. But I seen that she was there doing Jess Malboy's makeup. This is a couple of years ago. And I was flying out that day and I was like, oh, if you're around, like I'd love to catch up for breakfast or whatever. So I went to her hotel to catch up for breakfast. She's like, oh, I hope you don't mind. There's just a few others like coming down to join us. So I was like, oh, that's fine. And then, yeah, like 10 minutes later, there's Jess Malboy at my table and like all the producers of Sony and everyone. And I was like, what is my life?
Ah!
That was probably like a really crazy moment. So I, yeah, had breakfast with all of those girls, which is the people that you meet. That's why I love the industry, because 2 days are never the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I'm not doing so much my music anymore, but 15 years ago, oh God, I would have traded places with you in an instant for all the producers at Sony and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. How
Yeah.
amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So what about your own line? Did you ever, like, now you're making your own pillowcases, which we're
Yeah.
going to get to, but like your makeup, did it ever cross your mind to create your own line of makeup? Like, was that a
Oh
thought?
yeah, definitely. That was always like something that I have always wanted my own product.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I never wanted it to be like half-assed, sort of like I
Yeah.
wanted like the best, and like to create the best is like, you know, 20,000 plus to develop one shade of one product kind of thing. Like it's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
money. And I've never taken that risk to get a loan. I've always just never had the finances to do it really.
Yeah.
And then when COVID hit and makeup stopped, is when I sort of was like, what can I do? Like I need to do something. I need a project to work on. I'm someone that always needs something happening. So that's sort of how that was born.
Night Babe.
Night Babe, yeah. Yep.
So tell us about Night Babe.
Yeah, so it was literally one day. I think again, like my target feed on Facebook has really been like pivotal for my career, because that day I must have been talking about silk bedding, like sheets and stuff. And I was like, God, that would be nice to have like silk sheets and a pillow set. And then like that day an ad popped up for like Adair's or something with like a full bed set of silk. And I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I want. But it was like $1,000. And I was like, well, I haven't worked for like 4 or 5 months. I can't afford that. And my mum manufactures, like she's got a big sewing studio. She makes curtains and blinds and stuff for lots of retailers. And so I've grown up in the sewing room. I know how to sew. I just have always been like, I'm never making curtains. But when I was a kid, I used to make like pillowcases, and like every term I'd make like a new pencil case, like anything square, like just was 4 straight lines I could master. So then when I was like, oh, I can't afford that silk sheet set, I will just order some fabric and I'll make my own. So yeah, and then I started researching. I was like, oh, surely other people would love silk pillowcases. Maybe I could like start making a few for when I get bridal clients back. Like that would be a nice thing for them to have the night before the wedding. And then I just got into a spiral of Google and found like this silk manufacturer and ended up ordering like 100 meters of silk and was like, if this fails, everyone's getting silk pillowcases for Christmas. So, and then I'd always wanted a brand and sort of had the vision and the tone of voice that like the brand would have, whatever the product was. And within like 2 days, I had like all the branding done, the like everything, like the name registered, the website like domain done and everything. So yeah, it sort of just came about really quick once I like put my mind to it. Like I said, I jump into things very aggressively. So that's how it
Wow.
came about.
I totally get that because I do the same. I register business names and I
Yeah.
register domain
Yeah.
name in
I've
an
got
instant.
others already registered that I'm just like waiting to have time to do, because I'm like,
Me too. I've got about 12 or 15
yeah. Yeah.
that are going to happen.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. So why, tell us why silk? Like what's that?
Well, I've always wanted a product in the beauty space, and I figured like silk pillowcases are like a beauty item just because they're so great for your hair and your skin.
Yeah.
And then I thought to grow like an audience, I can use the beauty connections that I have through my makeup career, like, you know, as influencers and that type of thing. Like I'm friends with quite a few like makeup artists and other like beauty influencers, and like I thought when I go back to work I always have a pillowcase in my kit, so like if the model is really nice and I get along with her, I'm like, oh, here's a pillowcase for you, like, and she'll like post about it and that type of thing. So I've sort of been able to get like a bit of traction through my connections, which has been really great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why I chose it. It was really just because I wanted them, and I thought, well, it'll be cheaper for me to make some for myself. And then it just like really, it was just a project for myself that really escalated. And then I just loved making them.
Wow.
Yeah.
And silk isn't cheap, so that, you know, that's
No.
one thing. So you just said in there that it's good for your hair, it's good for your skin. Like
Yep.
how does that work with silk? Because
Yeah.
people
Well,
like me don't know anything about that.
yeah, so it's a natural fiber, for one. So it's great for like people maybe that have sensitive skin, that cotton is like quite absorbent. So cotton will absorb, like, for instance, even natural oils out of your skin, or it will absorb like your moisturizers that you put on before you go to bed, whereas silk is non-absorbent. So like those natural oils or your beauty products will stay actually in your skin or on your skin, and not absorb into your pillowcase. It's like friction free, so if you like roll around at night, or just or if you have curly hair, it's not going to like frizz your hair up. It just leaves it nice and smooth and intact. So it's great for like even for babies. Like little Paris has got her, I made a cot sheet out of silk so that she doesn't get like that bald spot at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they're
never
great if
thought
you're
of
like
that.
a lot of like my mum, who was, when she was going like through menopause, she had a silk pillowcase, like, because she got really hot. But then like I even get lots of feedback from wives that have brought them for themselves, that their husbands end up pinching them because they're so nice and cooling. So like if you're someone that gets really hot at night when you sleep, they don't, you know, and some people like are always flipping the pillow to get the cool
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to keep flipping the pillow, it just stays nice and cool. So yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So
So
many
you know,
benefits. I could go on and on.
yeah, well, you can go on and on if you really want to go on and on, but that's see, I never knew any of that sort of stuff. I knew that you've said that, but I
Yep.
didn't know. My beauty makeup brain couldn't figure any of that out. Do you know? It's kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
So, oh, that's good, because and when you say it's not absorbent, so does that mean like you don't get all those stains on it as well? So that,
Yeah. Yep.
wow.
Yep.
Yeah, because mine's covered in wax stains. I got a bed with wax in my hair, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, ends up
Yeah.
with a wax patch.
It's just like the fibers are like, because the fiber of cotton is like really quite porous, whereas the fibers in silk is just a lot more like tightly wound, I guess, and
Yeah.
the moisture and that doesn't soak into it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is it just pillowcases, or have you expanded further than pillowcases?
At the minute it's just pillowcases, and I can do like any size. So like on my website is just listed as like standard size, but I get a lot of custom orders for like king size, or like those banana ones.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually like Kate Langbrook, who's like on
Yep. Yeah.
project and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend is her makeup artist. So back in the early days, I got her address off my friend, and because Trudy, my makeup friend, was saying, oh, Kate's always carrying around like her weft, like hair extensions in like an inside out silk pillowcase so they don't get knotty. So I made her like this beautiful silk drawstring bag that she could put her weft extensions in. And she just messaged me the other day that someone at Channel 10 like lost it. So yeah, I've just like made her a new bag for her hair extensions. So yeah, I can custom make any products, but having her as a client and coming back to me was very exciting. And yeah, she's got a whole collection of different colored pillowcases and things that she's got from me. So yeah, just the clients that I've reached has been really exciting.
Yeah, but you've done it through good relationships.
Yeah.
That's really important, you know, and it's I can't stress enough to people that relationships matter. Do you know? And it's not relationships to take advantage. It's relationships because you're truly investing in each other. You know, you're truly investing in that person. And what can I learn from you? And the humility of it. Do you know? And I just want to do better. So I want to work with you. I want to spend time with you. You know, to make not because I want to be richer than you and I want to trample all over you.
I want to steal your clients or anything.
It's like, what can I learn? Because I just want to be better at my craft and I want people to feel better about themselves. And that's really important. So actually, before I ask about where you make them, I know you make them in the studio, but just, you know, you've sort of had to, no, let's go there. I'm already there. Kicking your mum. So you do it at your mum's studio. What have you had to sort of push mum over to a corner?
I'm taking half your table. Yes, literally. Her, like, she last Christmas she had to fully reshuffle the whole, like, turn the table around because we were just like, it just didn't flow for two people doing two completely separate types of work. She completely reorganized the whole sewing room. So now I've got my whole side with all Night Babe silks and my sewing machine, and so we're all set up.
I love that. And how do you go working with your mum? Like, that's a legitimate question because some people, you know, I don't know.
Oh no, I love working with my mum. And like, I think another thing that made me like really want to make it as a product also in like 2020 when I had this big pivot and lots of things were changing, and my grandma, like my mum started sewing with my grandma, when she got pregnant with me. And then so I grew up and the sewing room used to be in my grandma's house. So I grew up like always in the sewing room with my mum and my grandma. And then in 2020, my grandma passed away, and I don't know, sewing just made me feel really connected to her. So I don't know, I sort of feel like I'm not that I'm like doing curtains or anything, but I like to think that it would make her proud that I was carrying on the family sewing.
I love that.
business.
I love that. So it's at your mum's house, this studio?
Yeah, it's at my mum's now. Yeah.
And you don't live there? You just go there every day? And
we live really close. Yeah.
So down in Seaspray, down at the beach.
Yeah.
So what's the temptation to say, "Bugger this, I'm going to the beach"?
No, we do go to I take my now daughters, but we usually always go to the beach nearly most days really for a walk or something like that. Just I love the flexibility. Like I'm a bit of a night owl, so I'll work at night a bit when they're asleep, but so that I can spend time during the day going to the beach and that type of thing. So I like the flexibility that being self-employed allows you to create your own hours.
It sounds like you got the perfect little setup, actually.
Yeah, no, I love it. And everyone's always like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you drive like 2.5 hours to go to Melbourne or whatever." But it's like my time. So I will put on a couple of podcasts and the drive really doesn't bother me at all because I love going to Melbourne and working in that environment. And then I get to come home and walk along the beach where there's no other people, and it's great.
Oh God, it sounds like the dream, actually. It really does.
Yeah, I love it.
When you were talking before about the pillows, I've got to come back to this because we've been losing a lot of sleep because we've got a 6-month-old puppy. Anyway, it's not. It's been hard, with the up at night time, the toilet train.
I've made silk pet pillows before.
Have you?
Do
they love them?
Yeah. I've made some for what is the type of the dog? Like what are the miniature greyhounds?
A whippet.
Those in like the smaller version of a whippet. Yeah. So they're like the little silk lined like little jackets for them so that their fur doesn't go
all. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, actually, a lot of the little doggy jackets are lined with polar fleece, and the short-haired dogs, their hairs all get stuck.
Yeah, they get like static. Yeah, there's no static when they're silk lined. So
Wow, Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
There's a whole other line for you to go into.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So really you could expand this in so many directions.
Yes, I just need more. I'm like, I obviously make all the pillows now. And I get asked a lot for like the silk, like sleep masks, but I've
Yeah.
tried multiple times and they're not a square, like, or a rectangle. So they're out of my skill set. I just can't get them to as neat as I want them to, as perfect as I want them to be. So I'm looking for a seamstress that can make them to
And work
help.
for you or subcontract to
Yeah,
you.
subcontract. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few around. Yeah.
Yeah.
But is silk hard to work with, is it?
Not when you're making a square pillowcase, but
Ah!
no, it's fine. But when you start having to like spin it in for like those tight corners of
Yeah.
a sleep mask, yes, I find it a bit trickier.
You know, I'll go back to the whole sleep thing just for a minute, and then I want to talk about the squares.
Mhm.
Yeah, and when I was saying about the puppy, and I wasn't looking for a puppy pillow, but that, you know, you've got my mind working. It's yeah. What was I going to say? And so we're not getting enough. We're not getting enough sleep.
Yeah.
Now she's
Yeah.
now she's toilet trained, but the other blind old deaf dog decides at 5 o'clock in the morning or 4:30 is a good time to start shaking and licking and waking up the other. So we're
Yeah.
knackered. So the thing is that I think we underestimate sleep. Do you know?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Sleep
Definitely.
is
It's so important.
critical. It's critical.
Yep.
How much better sleep do you think you get with the silk pillows? Like, is it more soothing?
Yeah, I definitely think it puts you into like a deeper like REM sleep, because like being cool like creates melatonin in your body like naturally. Like when like it's good to keep your bedroom like it's sort of on the cooler end. That's why people sleep
Yes.
better, you know, with the fan on, and sleep worse in summer because it's so hot. Like being cool, having a cooler body temperature puts you into a deeper sleep. So yeah, being able to keep a consistent heat, especially like up the top end, like your head and everywhere like that, is definitely beneficial. My mum, who never like slept on would always just have she, you know, doesn't use her night creams or doesn't have a nighttime beauty routine like my 12-step. I gave her like all the silk pillowcases and everything when I started making them, and like she's such an insomniac, like she just doesn't sleep any time of the night. You'll see her on texting away or something because she just doesn't sleep. But she actually, within like 2 nights of sleeping on it, she's like, oh my God, I got like a solid 3 hours. And
Wow.
yeah, like, which is like huge for her because she just, yeah, has little cat naps. So yeah, it definitely, I've definitely had feedback from so many people that it's really helped them, like people that were really skeptical or thought it's just a pillowcase, how can it help? It's definitely, I've had so much feedback that it has helped.
Wow. Wow. I love that. And when I'm coming back to the squares, and so anyway, so anyone listening, if you're not getting a good night's sleep, here might be the answer.
Yeah.
But also just a nice sleep. Like, and I think
Yeah, it just makes you feel like it's like you really, to me, it feels like the final step in like my nighttime sort of routine. Like it's just so nice and luxurious to put your head down on, let alone on its own, let alone without all the other benefits that come with it.
yeah. Well, I don't have your 12-step nighttime routine. However, my nighttime routine is go to the toilet, clean your teeth, and crash. And
That's fine too. That's fine too. Just maybe
but it might be
crash on
nice.
a night babe pillowcase,
Yeah.
and they've got your 3-step.
There's a 3-step routine. Well, we've got to put the dogs out for a wee. There's a few more steps, but it doesn't include beauty. I can tell you that. God, I couldn't do another hour of beauty. But you know, it's going back to that the bit about the squares. Do you know? I think that's a really good example of you can still have a really solid flourishing business even with basic skills. You're saying, well, I can only do squares, but okay, so you can only do squares, but what can you do with squares? And well, I can make pillowcases, and I can make a flourishing business, and I can sell those pillowcases to help people feel absolutely bloody magnificent. Do you know? So I think sometimes we can underestimate the we
what
could,
you can already do. Yeah.
yeah, we could say that I'm not very good. I'm not
The
perfect. I
talent.
can't
Yeah.
do this, and I'm not a great seamstress. We can use all these excuses to put ourselves down and to
Yeah.
block ourselves from doing
Yeah.
great things. And
Get
yet,
something. Yeah.
yeah, if we look at, well, what are my minimal skills?
Mm.
What is it that I can do? Well, I
Yeah.
can do that. Great. Well, if you
Yeah.
can do that, what can
How
you?
can I monetize that to, yeah.
Yeah. And particularly, how can I, I think when you talk about money, some people want to, well, how can I make money? How can I make money? Which is great, because you need to. You've got to put
Yeah.
food on the blade table. But sometimes we're just trying to make money for the sake of making money.
Making money. Yeah.
If we go,
How
how
can
can
I
I
like
help?
create the life that I want to live? Yeah.
Yeah, and make other people feel great.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Money shouldn't always be the objective. Like,
No, it's a good
not at
one.
all. It's a great, like, it's a necessity to live. Yes. But like, it shouldn't be the only thing that
Well,
you
I think
want
if
going into something.
no, and I think if you're trying to make money, doing something that you hate, just to be
Just to have money.
rich, I don't think that works. I think it's not
Yeah.
fulfilling. I
No.
love to make money, but I love to do it doing what
Yeah. I
I
love to be
love.
happy more.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
keep trying to get Nikki to. Oh, I shouldn't say this because the employer might be listening, but cut back a day. I don't care if they're listening. Cut back a day, just so that, just to have that
Yeah.
that downtime. But
Yeah.
I think we underestimate uh, sleep, and we
Yep.
underestimate feeling good. And
Yeah. And like making those things a priority. Like,
yeah,
yeah, definitely.
like you're saying, you make your 12-step beauty thing. For me, that's not anywhere on my value system.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it shouldn't be for you or someone else. Does that?
Yeah.
And I think we've got to be not influenced by what other people have as their routine, because some people look at my life on social media. Oh God, you two have so much fun. I wish we were like you. But that's not entirely true. You know what I mean? Well,
Oh,
sometimes we do have fun.
yeah.
A lot of the
Yeah.
time we have fun, but we've got the same struggles as everybody else.
Yeah.
What works for me as a downtime thing or a feel great thing is a completely different thing to what works for you as a beautiful thing. And we've got to find that thing. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is we need to work to find that thing. What is that thing that makes you feel good? Because
Yeah.
we're not feeling good enough. We're
Yeah, definitely.
and I'm listening to people talk about 2022, and I think 2022 has been it's been hard, and it's been used a lot of energy to try and get through 2022.
Yeah.
But am I saying it's been the biggest shit year ever? No, because there's been challenges, but there's been some great stuff that's come.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to look at, well, what's good, what's not working, what can I do to make me feel better for the not working stuff, and have a bit more optimistic view. Because if we think, I know we've been saying this for the last 3 years, oh, screw this year, this year's been shit.
Yeah, write that off.
Next year's going to be better. Well, every single
Yeah.
year's gone.
It's always going to be, your outcome, like, for the next year is always going to be the same if you don't make a change, if you don't like take a leap, or if you don't like sit down and actually think, like, what do I actually want from this year? Or I'm not just talking about like a New Year's resolution, because how many of those do people write down and don't think about again the next week, kind of thing. So just actually like just being like, I need to change, need to do something. And just focus on, like, when you look back at the year, just think about like all the things that you've ticked off on, like that, on a path to making a change. Like, I feel like so many people look back and just remember the negative. There's
because
so
it's
much
easier.
It is, but you've still, I'm sure any one of those people that have said, oh, it's been such a shit year, could still write down like a huge list of things that have happened that have been amazing, that they're just not thinking about.
Yeah, I've there's this thing that I used to do, and I keep meaning to do it again, but I don't know why we don't do it. Probably because we put a jar on the bench and then it's like, oh, there's bloody jars on the bench. Move this shit. Like there's no room because all the dog stuff. But it's like this great idea, and it's a great idea if anyone's listening to this. You put in every little good thing that happened, not just good thing.
Yeah.
Went to Phillip Island for the weekend, or I went to, I went and saw the Mamma Mia show, or, I had a great dinner with my parents, or it doesn't matter. We spent the day walking down by the beach, whatever you do. And all the little nice things, or I got a really lovely email about my work or whatever. Write it on a little colored piece of paper and put it in this jar. It doesn't have to be colored, but just makes it a bit nicer. And at the end of the year, spread them all out on the table, and go, wow, look at all these moments, these positive.
I love that. Yeah.
It is such a good thing to do. I'm pretty good because I keep a diary and I write all the good things. So I only have to flick back through pages and think, wow. And I also keep I call it my promo folder, and it's work. It's not all the other stuff, but it's all the good things I've done. And I can flick through that anytime and go, wow, what a year. But I think that jar, and then unpacking it at the end of the year and going, wow.
Yeah.
And the other good thing about that is, if you do it New Year's Eve, open it up and go, what a year. It stops you from making those false New Year's resolutions. Look at so and so, she's so skinny. Right, that's it. This year I'm gonna lose weight. And for God's sake, you're gonna end up the same weight as you always are, because it's just our bodies, it's just our habits. And I'm not trying to say that people. I'm not trying to say it's not a good thing to lose weight if you're unhealthily.
I know, but it's already a negative thing to be starting the year off with, like, there's something wrong with me. I can say that, like, I have said that goal for most of my life. Like, I've always struggled with my body image, and it's reflecting back on that over the last few years. I've been trying to work on that. Mentality, it's so unhealthy to go in, even just when I hear ads on TV, do you want to be skinnier so you look better? There's so much on just the look of someone for their size, rather than just, could be, do you want to be more healthy? Work on just making yourself feel good, rather than with the mindset of that you need to lose weight to
or do you want to have more fun, or do you want to have better relationships, or it's just so many, same with me. I'm in my late 50s, and I had my thyroid out 5 years ago, which has not helped my gut line at all. And menopause does not help your gut line, and it's you can look in the mirror and constantly beat yourself up and go, oh, bloody hell, I can't lose this gut. Or you can say, you know what, big stiff shit. I'm mid-50s or late 50s and I've got a gut, and,
I'm alive though.
I'm alive, I'm happy.
What can I,
makes no difference to, and the thing is, we get self-conscious about who's looking at my gut. The truth is, no one, honestly, no one's going, and if they are, they really worth bloody worrying about.
No.
I think we beat ourselves up. So I like the idea of the jar, because it's just wow, look at all these things that made me feel fantastic. And I'm going to do those things again, and I'm going to look for all these little good moments for the next year. And I reckon if we're going to make New Year's resolutions, make resolutions of moments. Capturing your moments.
Making the time to do.
I just think that's so nice. I don't know how we got onto that subject, but I enjoyed that subject.
That was a good little.
I enjoyed the whole bloody actually. Anyway, I'm going to now the other thing is, I actually want to tell you that I was in the post office and I saw your face on a card, business of the month. Is it local business of the month or something like that?
No, it was in Australia.
Was it?
Yeah, it was 12 businesses throughout Australia. Australia Post, my local post office, nominated me as a small business hero Australia. And
that was it.
Yes. I think there was maybe a few thousand nominated, and I was one of 12. So that was really cool. I didn't realize that my face was going to be in every, I think it was every Gippsland post office. So
Well,
Actually, no, I seen my face in the post office in Chadston when I had to deliver something there. So yeah, I think it may have been Victoria wide.
wow.
Um, yeah, I thought it was just going to be in maybe Sale, maybe the other little post office in Sale.
Yeah.
Everyone kept sending me Snapchats of like my face.
It was so. I did.
Yeah,
I walked into the sale post, into the business center, and I'm
yeah,
like, I was just standing there waiting, and I'm like, I looked at this thing, and I thought, look at that face, and then I'm like, wow, that's fantastic.
yeah,
Gee,
yeah,
that is fantastic, and it's just such a great way to inspire other people to go.
yeah.
I'm going to start a small business. Now, I'm not saying everybody's cut out for a small business,
No, no, it's not like a
but
walk in the park by any
that's
means.
not a walk in the park. But were you talking about before, like you can be flexible with your hours, you can work
Yep,
at night, you can spend time with the kids. And
yep.
sometimes I think COVID has forced us to look at this 9 to 5 grind, with
Mm,
this organization
yeah,
doesn't suit me. Not
yeah,
everyone. Some people.
yeah. Like working for an employer is still an amazing like an achievement for a lot of people. Like it's not like it's like an unfulfilled career life to work for someone, because their values might be different. Like they might just like the mentality of getting to work at 9 and doing their job and then switching off when they get home. Like
Mm,
that for someone self-employed is not really an option. Like you're just always thinking about the next move or what you need to do and that kind of thing. So you sort of switched on to your business 24/7.
yeah,
But like there's still like things that I prefer of being self-employed rather than working for someone else that makes me
yeah,
feel fulfilled and that type of thing. So it's yeah.
yeah. So I suppose it just depends on what you want out of life, because
Yeah.
for some
Yeah.
people, as you said, and I sometimes get jealous of those people that go to work, come home, sit on the couch and just,
Yeah.
watch TV. But then I
Yeah.
can only do it for a couple of days, and then I'm like, oh my,
Oh God, I need
and,
something to do. Yeah.
and I just said to Nikki the other day, am I obsessed with my business, with my work? And she said, yes, yes, you are. Yeah, because I think to have your own business, you have to live
You
and
have to be obsessed with it.
you have to
Yep.
live and breathe it every
Yep.
single moment. And it is hard work. However, if you want the flexibility and you want the freedom and you want
Yep.
to do what you love,
Yeah.
there's always the opportunity to do it, but it comes with a lot of hard work.
Yep.
But it also comes with, it's not as it's not limited to just a few people. Like you
Just
can
yeah.
do it if you
If
want
you
to
want,
do it.
yeah, you can take it in whatever direction you want to take it
Yeah,
rather than like living under your boss's
yeah,
ideas. Like, yeah, you can't
yeah,
change someone else's company, but you can change your own company.
exactly.
Yeah.
So there, guys, take your choice. But anyway, you can do it. So
Yes.
anyway, I absolutely love this conversation.
Oh,
We've
same.
done a few different twists and turns, but
We
it's
have.
been bloody fantastic. And it's so where can people find you?
They can find me online at nightbabe.com.au.
Yeah,
And yeah, in 2023 is my goal to get out there into more retailers. So
yeah,
hopefully coming to a town near you, but for now it's nightbabe.com.au.
fantastic. Well, I'm going to put the and there's also Insta and Facebook and
Yeah.
you're still doing your makeup though as well.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah, I am.
yeah. So there's ljames.com.au as well. But I'm going to put those links in the show
Yep.
notes as well. So Elle, this has been absolutely fantastic catching up with you. It's been a long bloody time coming, but we made
Yep.
it work.
We got
And
there.
I
And just
know,
before Christmas too. So
I
I'm very
know.
excited.
I know. Well, I don't think it'll go up before Christmas, but we'll see
No,
how we go. It probably
I know. Well, it's not very far away.
maybe we should put it up for Christmas. And if you're going to see, some people see family in January, and
Yep.
so if you're still thinking, I'll get that present after January, now's your chance. Bloody
Yep.
hell, I'm going to put this up New Year's
Oh,
Eve. New Year's Eve. How does that sound? Because we've been
yes.
talking about New Year's.
Yes. And yeah, and everyone should like fill out a list of goals that are going to make them feel good, not like negative things they want to change, just positive things that they can do to have a better 2023.
Yeah, I agree. Like a weekend away every 2 months or something like that. That's
Yes.
kind of
Yeah. Love that.
good stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Now you've convinced me. I'm going to switch something around, put you up New Year's Eve and So let's get everybody kicking off their 2023
Yeah.
with a better attitude. So
Better mindset. Yes.
yeah, absolutely. All right, love it very, very much. So thank you very much for joining
Thank
me,
you.
and I hope to keep seeing your face around local
Yeah.
and your pillowcases in at local retailers. Well,
Yes.
I hope to see them Australia wide, actually.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, same.
yeah. All right. Well, you have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See ya.
See ya.
Ta-da.